What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today, you guys, with a brand new review for Love and Marriage Huntsville. You guys, this is what season is this, you guys? Season 6, episode 28. You guys, how many more episodes are left of this season? I'm tired of this show, literally. So I will say that this review, it ain't gonna be that lengthy because this episode for me, it kind of felt a little bit on the flat side. But you guys can let me know what you guys thought about it in the comment section below, you guys. But without further ado, actually, before we get into this, you guys, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning your post notifications on, and also by sharing the video. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's discuss Love and Marriage Huntsville, shall we? Once again, you guys, let me know if you guys know how many episodes do we have. Like, are they gonna even this thing out at 30 episodes? Because if that's the case, like, why? But like I said, you guys, this episode, it wasn't a whole lot for me to discuss, but we'll definitely discuss it nonetheless. Now, the one scene that I will say that I did not watch, but I want to get it out of the way. Although I didn't watch the scene, I did watch it. I just wasn't listening to the scene because it's the same old with Kimmy and Maurice. So Kimmy and Maurice, you guys, they were seeing the sex therapist. And like I said, I didn't listen to this scene because I don't really 100% care about any of this stuff with Kimmy and Maurice. Like, I get that she wants to feel good about herself and want to be able to do those things sexually with him. I do understand that. But it really, honestly, for me, feels like she's really only doing this so that he is satisfied and fulfilled. That's really what I get from it. And like I said, I saw the coach was talking about doing, the intimacy and all that kind of stuff. The therapist, whatever she is, I could have done without that scene. I know for a fact that I don't want to continue to hear about Kimmy and Maurice's sex life or lack thereof. It falls on deaf ears with me personally. Like I said a few minutes ago, if Kimmy is doing this for herself, I'm applauding. Get right, do things for yourself. But if you are literally doing this for the self satisfaction of Maurice, like everybody has said, all the time, and everybody has said, if Maurice don't go get a fleshlight or use his hand, get some lotion, get some lube, get something, and just choke the chicken, so to speak, do that. Like, it ain't that. I get it. Most people would prefer to have relations with their partner, but if your partner is sick, then let's not be a selfish asshole and a jerk. Let's keep that a buck, right? But yeah, you guys, if there's anything you guys want to discuss with that, feel free to leave it in the comment section. Like I said, I wasn't watching that scene. The funny thing is, with that scene, it started and it went to commercial break. Then it came back from a commercial break and we were still on that scene. And the funny thing is, when it came up on my screen and I heard Kimmy say sex therapist, I was like, oh, that's my cue to exit the scene. And I'm still watching it. Didn't even mute the scene. Didn't mute it. I just didn't retain what they were saying. I wasn't listening. I was actually on my phone tweeting, or I was on Twitter at the time, right? And then I saw, oh, where are the commercials? So I fast forwarded, came back, and then I let this sit there, and then I was just like, oh, okay, nothing here, nothing to see here, folks. But yeah, like I said, you guys, if there's anything that you guys would love to discuss about that, we can definitely talk about it in the comment section below. Let's pause here, you guys, and move forward, shall we? Now, you guys, the episode opened up where we last left off. You guys remember Tisha and Marceau had went on a double date with Stormy and Courtney, right? And I still stand on what I said last week about Courtney and Stormy. I didn't blame Stormy for how she felt about them being over an hour and a half late. That, like I said, is my biggest pet peeve is being late somewhere. I don't like it. It doesn't sit well with me. It grinds my gears. Even if we are doing this for a show, y'all get a call time. Like why are you missing your call time? Like that's disrespectful to the crew, because those people probably want to go home to their families, and so they sitting here all night with a goddamn heavy ass camera on them, and they waiting for you to come in, and then you show up late. I'd be pissed too, right? Now, what I will say is I was kind of confused about the situation that was happening. I'm gonna point two things out, right? Marceau is a jerk, a gaslighter, and an asshole, right? But let's talk about Stormy. Stormy can be an asshole too. Stormy can be a jerk. So, for me personally, you guys can tell me how you feel. When it comes down to Stormy, I knew what Stormy was upset about when he said that's a part of, calling men bitches. That's a part of your culture. He was saying that in a condescending tone. He was saying that. Remember season 2 when he said that Tisha's family was from the other side of the tracks. He was being facetious, and he was trying to be funny in that moment. And when he could have said, all Marceau literally could have said to Stormy was, "Didn't you say that where you're from is where you come from, the neighborhood the people that you grew up around, it's okay for a woman to call a man a bitch." He could have said that, because to say her culture, that was like he knew what he was doing, and he meant what he said. And so Stormy got offended by that. And like I said, I'm not upset at her for getting offended by that. But like I said, when it comes to Stormy, I do feel like Stormy can dish it, but she cannot take what people say. Like it's like pot meet kettle. And I feel like that's what it is with Stormy. Stormy can call Marceau a bitch, but then when he says something to you that you don't like, it's not cool. So she got up and walked away. And then, she's like, I guess we ain't really cool like that. And so Tisha was like, I guess we not. And so that was that. But I did notice that, Marceau and Courtney, they shook hands with each other. So I don't know how this is going to go. For me personally, I don't think that this is that big of a deal. Only thing that I can give Stormy about being upset about is two things, right? Them being late as hell, and then the fact that Letitia, I know y'all might want to say, well, Letitia did apologize to her. She did apologize to her, but with Letitia, Stormy had to pull, pull, pull. Like she had to pull that apology out of Stormy. So I'm not upset about it, right? Now we'll pause here and we'll move forward and wrap up the episode, you guys. Now, you guys, we see the Fletchers. So the Fletchers has invited the entire group out to this cowboy bar, right? And this is to let the cast know that we're going to Houston for our cast trip. This is the second time that they've had a cast trip, isn't it? Because the first time they went to Vegas, and that was the first season we met Tiffany and Lewis, and they haven't been on a cast trip since then. I saw somebody on Twitter was like, with Carlos's shows, why don't they have international trips? You guys know that there's a difference between Bravo and OWN. Bravo is under the umbrella of NBC, a big network. And so they can afford to give those people the money to go on those big trips. I'm not saying that OWN can't afford it, but I don't necessarily know if OWN has a big enough budget to send the whole entire cast on an international trip. Maybe with time they can, but as of right now, I don't necessarily know. And most times it is the production company too that foots this, and they have to scout and look for locations. But hey, it is what it is, right? But like I said, the cast is getting ready. This is really for them to let the cast know that they are going to go on to Houston, right? Now, when Letitia and Marceau got there, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, Courtney and Stormy were already there. Then Mel came, and I believe Tisha and Marceau were at. No. It was Stormy and Courtney first. Then it was, that's what it was. Stormy and Courtney, followed by Kimmy and Maurice. Then Melody came, and then Letitia and Marcel and Martell was in the rear. Now, when Letitia came in there and went up to Stormy and gave Stormy a hug, I was actually with Stormy like, girl, really? Me and you just recently got into it, and now you're gonna come up to me and give me a hug? No, ma'am, I ain't with that fake shit. That is the one thing that I agreed with Stormy about. Like, we're not gonna play that fake shit, girl. Me and you just had a little bit of a tussle with each other, and we went back and forth. So I'm not gonna sit here and give you a hug. But I mean, if you want to play that game, let's play it. Now, I know people probably say, well, Letitia was just being cordial. She was, but you can be cordial and come into the room and say, hey, hi, Stormy, hi, Courtney, how y'all doing? You ain't got to be like, how you doing? That is fake as hell. Like, let's be real with each other. Now, once everybody was there, the Fletchers let them know that they'll be going to Houston. And so Kimmy was like, so are y'all good? Like, will y'all be able to go on the trip together and be good with each other? And Stormy didn't really answer the question, but Tisha feels as if things are okay with them. And I was like, girl, how do you feel like things are okay with y'all? This is what she was telling Mel and Nell. And then, Kimmy pulled Stormy to the side and had a conversation with Stormy. And here's my thing. We can all be adults and grow up, right? And like I said, I'm not gonna take away how Stormy feels about her using her business, the thing on her website. She is warranted in feeling how she feels. But at the same time, you don't have to be friends with. Here's the thing in life: we don't have to be friends with each other. We don't have to like everybody. But what we can do is we can get to a point where it doesn't have to be contentious. It doesn't have to be drama. It can just be even chill, even kill, right? Where you come into the room and I'll speak to you unless you do something, downright dirty to me where we can't come back from it, i.e. the situation with Melody and Martell. That's something that I don't know that I would be able to come back from. Speaking of Melody, Melody told, Nell that when it comes to this trip, she's willing to go, but she needs to be on another side of the house from Martell, and there needs to be a lock on the door, and I'm okay with that, right? I have no problems with that. And so after that, we back over with Kimmy and Stormy. You know, Kimmy was just telling Stormy like, girl, don't let that get to you, right? When you go on the trip, if you need to go get a little zen in your room, do that. And I was like, exactly. You can be around these people, nothing life threatening, nothing. Yes, it could have damaged, it could have ruined your reputation, right? And I'm okay with that. But it was rectified. You pulled an apology out of Letitia. Let's just move forward, right? And the situation with Marceau, you called him a bitch. It was a banter. And I don't think that you like the fact that he was coming back at you with the comeback, right? Like I said earlier, I feel like with Stormy, it's like what's good for the goose in this case ain't good for the gander. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, you guys. And we'll pause here. Actually, we'll pause here right now and wrap up the episode. All right, you guys. So we see as the group, they made it to Houston. I will say, though, that the house that they stayed in Houston was very nice. I wonder what side of Houston it was on. Now, Nell, one thing I will say about Nell Fletcher, I've noticed in the last few episodes, she is very loud when she talks. I'm like, girl, you have a microphone on and you're still screaming in this fucking microphone. Ma'am, dial it down just a little bit. Now, so Nell and Chris were the first two there, followed by Mel, and then after Mel got there, Martell got there. Now, let me say this right here. I had no problem with the fact that Melody did not speak to Martell. Had no issues with it. I was cool with it. I was fine with it. If anybody felt the way about it, it is what it is. JB didn't give a fuck. Like, I really didn't care. I was cool with the fact that she didn't speak to him. I wouldn't speak to him either. Like, you do so much low ball, underhanded shit to me, and then you feel like I should speak to you? Sir, F you and your whistle. Like, no, sir, get out of my face. Move around, Martell. Please move around, Martell Holt. Like, move the fuck around. So the Scots 1.0 and 2.0, they both arrive, right? And Nell lets them know that they have their room, they're sharing a bathroom together. And I'm like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Now that's something that I don't know if I would want to do if I'm on a trip, if I would want to share a room with, I mean, not a room, but a bathroom. Because, some people are just nasty when it comes to stuff like that. But, and then, like, so when they go to, they share a bathroom, and I felt like I think the bathroom was in the room, and I don't want to hear you when you in the bathroom. I don't want to do that. I barely want to hear myself when I'm in the bathroom. Like, so no, thank you. Now we see Kimmy and Maurice. They're in their room, and we see them, and they're talking about the interview that Maurice did with Carlos King. You guys remember everybody ripped him a new one with that interview where he was trying to say that Kimmy was commendable for having sex with him when she was dealing with her cancer, right? And so, remember, now the interesting thing was, I wonder when this was filmed in comparison to them going on TGIF with Funky Dineva, Claudia Jordan, and Al, right? Because on there, she was defending him, but on here, she's telling him, you didn't think anything about me. And he 100% did not think about you. He was selfish. But he want to say it was just, he wasn't thinking and it was just him trying to be funny. That's not something to be funny about, sir. Go to hell. And she said her mom did not like that either. I'm like, I knew it couldn't have just been the viewing public who did not like that. I'm like, I can't imagine that Kimmy's family would like to hear that shit about their daughter. But it is what it is, right? And they did that exercise that the therapist told them to do. I didn't care about it. Marceau. Sir, can you go please get a bra? Because when you was laying in their bed and Letitia was talking to you, your titties would just slouch down and spread to the side. I was like, Marceau either needs a good girdle, and a bra. Definitely needs a bra. I want Marceau to go get a bra expeditiously. And so another thing, so it's supposed to be the entire group that's on this trip, right? Including the Whitlows. But we all know that the Whitlows ain't coming because the Whitlows are done with the show. Please, for the love of God, don't let them come back. But Nell let them know that the Whitlows weren't coming, and Letitia was telling Marceau that she had ran into, Tiffany, and Tiffany told her about her postpartum depression, and so Letitia then told Marceau about, her taking the pregnancy test, and he was like, "Is this how you feel when I talk to you?" I was like, "So you gaslight your wife, you do all that shit to her." Now, here's the thing, you guys. I don't know what the statistic is for men who get vasectomies and their wives or girlfriends or whoever still get pregnant, right? I don't know what that statistic is. But it's something that does happen. There's, when it comes to things like modern science and all that kind of stuff, it's not 100%. Not like a condom. The efficacy, I had to get that, or the efficacy of a condom is not 100%, right? Birth control is not, nothing is 100%. There is something called a margin of error with everything. If you look at stuff, nothing is 100% because everything has a margin of error. But yeah, you guys, him sitting there talking to Letitia, he was gaslighting Letitia in that fucking moment. And I was like, oh my God. Again, I'm going to ask the question, when is this season wrapping up? Because I'm over it, you guys. I'm really tired of talking about Love and Marriage Huntsville. I know that I saw Carlos last week. He was talking on his podcast about Love and Marriage DC, that they'll be returning. There'll be an announcement about DC very soon. And it's almost Christmas. And if you guys remember, DC ended at Christmas last season. So we're talking about something that's almost a year old at this point. We're talking about something that's almost a year old at this point. Why do I care, to be honest with you? I also thought it was quite interesting when he was comparing Bell Collective and Love and Marriage Huntsville. The real reason why I feel like he's comparing Love and Marriage Huntsville to The Love and Marriage franchise to the Real Housewives franchise is because it's literally at this point a franchise. But let's be honest, Bell Collective is the Real Housewives because that show follows the women of Bell Collective. It doesn't really follow the men. It follows the women. It follows Letitia, Latrice, Marie, Soguchi, and Aikisha. With Love and Marriage Huntsville, Detroit, and DC, it follows the couples, i.e., Married to Medicine. Married to Medicine follows the doctors and the wives of the doctors, and the men are sprinkled in, like on Housewives. The men and the women don't really have interviews together. Married to Medicine does. Atlanta and the Housewives don't really have it like that, but that is what it is, you guys. I'm rambling. That's it, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, you guys. Turn on your post notifications and also share the video, you guys. And until the next time, stay safe out there, you guys. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Be blessed. And I will see you guys in the next one.